Welcome to the Resilient Mindset Podcast, an exciting new podcast by Resilience Queen, Justine Martin. Justine is the owner and founder of the Resilient Mindset, a division of the Justine Martin Corporation. Justine draws on her years of experience and knowledge consulting with clients to develop and sustain a positive mindset. Focused on igniting your passion, purpose and power, follow the Resilience Queen each week as she delves into the mind of her guests, exploring fascinating stories and inspiring journeys.
In a past life, Christine Innes was a corporate queen, earning the big bucks and working her way up that ladder. From the outside, it appeared that she had it all. However, she was crumbling silently. It wasn't until Christine hit rock bottom that she was really able to discover what was missing from her life. Christine realised that she had no idea who she was without her corporate title, who the real Christine was. She needed to find out what lit her up, what was setting her soul on fire, what was her passion and purpose in life. After spending time rebuilding her life, Christine bravely and courageously shared her personal story, which resonated with people worldwide. This was her first inkling that the power of a story can inspire others. Christine first launched the first episode of the Corporate Escapists TB Show in 2019 and then has grown the business globally with a podcast and bi-monthly magazine. Christine is full of passion and spirit to help others find and follow their passion so they can live their best life. Welcome, Christine, to the Resilience Mindset Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me, beautiful. So excited to be here.
It's a pleasure. Let's get straight into it. What does resilience mean to you?
Resilience is not giving up, and it's, constantly moving forward. We're just going to stumble, we're going to fall, things are going to happen, but it's just continually to move forward. And, I always say, we can take a glance backwards, but it's not to stay in the past. It's just really to have a look at what's happened, what we can learn from it, but then how we can move forward best. And I think that's what resilience is. We just continue to learn about ourselves, but to move forward.
Yeah, so, taking that glimpse back into the past but not staying there. I always think of it as a rear vision mirror in the car. So, primarily your focus is always forward, but every so often you just have a glance to see what's behind you and what you've left behind and then focus what's in front. So what's the adversity that you've faced and how did you draw on your resilience to cope?
Well, probably I've had lots of different things, but the main one was 2015. I was diagnosed with 2 life-changing illnesses, and it was sort of like the catalyst for so many other things to happen. And I realized that I was in a very toxic, unfixable marriage. I then had to file for bankruptcy and ended up sleeping on my parents' couch. But I always say it was the best thing that ever happened to me because the fact that it has allowed me to look at myself. It's allowed me to ask the questions and give myself permission to dream about what I want in my life. So I always find that, it's the way that it's made me resilient. It's just gone, well, if you can handle that, everything else is going to be okay. It's what's the worst thing that you can happen? You're going to fall flat in your face again. Well, you can get back up. So you're going to be okay.
Yeah, that's right. So what coping mechanisms did you use during that period of time? How did you pick yourself up?
Yeah, look, it took a long time, through it, but I literally found stories was my go-to place. And I'd be sitting there watching, inspirational speeches on YouTube. I found podcasts. It was just finding these stories of people who had actually gone through, challenges or difficult things. And it may not have been exactly what I had been going through, but just to see where they've actually been able to get out of it and what they've been able to see and that power of positivity. But it's the power of stories, and those stories have allowed me to go, well, if they can do it, well, then I can do it too.
Yeah, totally get it. Which is why we're both here today sharing stories, helping as many people as we possibly can.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so who are your role models in resilience?
Oh, good question. I look at my mum and I see her, just when you think about it, what they've had to, the big changes, like, even how school is and, raising children and all those different things. But then I look at, some celebrities, and if you look at like Elon Musk, and, he literally has totally gone against the grain. And I mean, that's resilience, because he's decided, well, I'm just going to build a rocket ship, or, I'm going to bring in electric cars when it wasn't. And now everybody else is sort of following in those footsteps. So that's how I sort of see resilience, is like people that are really able to adapt and adjust and, I guess become leaders now.
Funny you mentioned Elon Musk, because I don't know if you're aware, Christine, and I think I've mentioned it on a couple of the podcasts now, that my artwork's actually going to the moon on Elon Musk's rocket.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. That's amazing.
I was on a TV program with the late Graham Stevens called Colour in Your Life, and it's going to the moon. So in the Codex rocket in 2023 in November, all our artwork is, all the TV shows that we're in, each episode's going to the moon. So that's very exciting.
That's very exciting.
Yeah. So what are your passions in life?
Look, I'm just a lover of life. I think, for me, I just want to constantly learn. I want to grow. And I guess one of my biggest passions is showing other people how they can do that and follow their own passion. I think so many times we've been caught up in what society thinks that we should be doing. And, it's taken me 45 years to work it out actually what I want to do in my life. So it's now, that's my passion, is, to love life as much as I possibly can. And, I mean, you understand, when you're diagnosed with life-changing illnesses, you really start to appreciate life on such a different level and take the good with the bad and, embrace every single day. But also too, I want to show people that, you can follow your passion, you can have a business out of it, but do what you love, because life really is way too short.
Oh, it most definitely is. Time is the most precious commodity on the planet. Buy it, reuse it, borrow it, or sell it. And, once it's gone, it's gone. And always be careful on who you're spending it on and who you're spending it with is my motto in life. And, I don't want to get to, the end of my life and go, geez, I wish I'd tried that. Or, geez, I wish I'd tried that. And just get in and do it. Procrastination is probably one of the biggest time wasters that there is. And I get asked all the time, I don't know about you, how do you do so much? How do you fit so much in? And my answer is pretty much always because I don't procrastinate. If I have an idea, I follow through with it, and that keeps me moving forward, again, not looking backwards. So what about you? Are you the same, Christine?
Yeah, I just say yes and then I figure it out. I just like going, oh, well, I'll work it out somehow. Like I check in and make sure.
University of YouTube. Yeah. Always yes. Now, who did say that? Was that Henry Ford? Was that there was someone famous that used to say, always say yes and then work it out later. So.
Well, Marie Forleo has a book and it's called Everything is Figure Outable. And I love that, because you just sit there and you're like going, okay, well, like I check in and make sure, is it in alignment with me, or, where I'm going and all of that sort of stuff.
Values.
Yeah. And then if it is, and I'm just like, yep, no worries, I'll do it. Like, I mean, I started a magazine. I've got no publishing, no design, no nothing background. Yeah, I've done it. Like, like anyone who says that they think that they can't do it, like I'm just like going, it sounds so cringy. Like I remember the 90s like TV ads, and they're in the pink, hot leotards, and they're doing the exercises, and they're like going, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I used to cringe because I was like really fat kid, and you're like going, oh, no way. And now I'm saying it going, well, if I can do it, you can do it too. And I'm like, oh, it's so bizarre.
Yeah, I know. Look, well, 11 years ago, I could barely paint, and now I'm a multi-award-winning artist. I have galleries. I've just illustrated a children's book. I'm under contract to illustrate a series of children's books. I'm starting a publishing house, all because I didn't like the contracts that were given back to me. It's like, nah, I can do that myself. So I think when you have that can-do attitude, the sky is the limit. So you and I are very much kindred spirits in that regard.
Absolutely. We just go, yeah, okay, we'll do it. No worries.
That's right. Do it. I mean,
That's it.
businesses. I'm in 6 businesses. So life is very hectic. And then, all these little branches of all these businesses. But I wouldn't have it any other way. So how do you deal with the setbacks in life, Christine?
Well, I have my pity parties, like I'll have my moments, and because I just want to keep it real with people, just going, you know what, like it's not all sunshine and roses every day. So I have my moments, but then I teach just, about pity parties, and there's a start and an end. And when I finish having my little pity party, then I get to work. And then I'm like going, okay, well, why did it happen? Let's learn from it. What can I learn from it personally? What can I learn from it from a business perspective? And then I'm like going, well, are you really need to take that on? Or is there something that you just need to let go of? Because a lot of the times the setback is not necessarily directed at us. It's directed at maybe somebody else's actions or, thoughts and feelings, all those different things. So the only thing I can control is how I react and how I feel to it. So I have my moment and then I move forward and process it and get on with it.
So how long would that moment last?
I tend to there's times where it's lasted a couple of days, and, it just depends on how big it is. But generally I will put on a movie, and once that movie stops, then I'm like, okay, that's it. Then it's time to get moving. It's, you know what work you need to do. You know what you need to, and I always say I've got to put my big girl panties on and, off I go sort of thing. But it's processing it all too, because I think a lot of the times those setbacks are the best learning lessons that we can have. So it might be that it might not have been the right time. It might not have been the right person to do, the work with, or maybe you just haven't set yourself up for success either, and that's part of it, as learning. Even myself, I say yes a lot. So there's sometimes where I'm like going, oh, have I bitten off too much? Or, so sometimes I've got to take responsibility for saying yes too much and, maybe not to deliver 100%.
It's knowing when to say no, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, not always do you say yes. Like sometimes like, no, that doesn't align with me. That doesn't align with the time that I've got at the moment. Yes, I can do that, but there's a 6-month wait.
Yes.
If you want it done sooner, in my world, if you want it done sooner, you pay more.
That's right.
To bump you up the list. But otherwise, you're down the list a bit. So
yes.
How do you cope with pressure?
I actually do thrive a little bit under pressure. I sort of, I think a lot of that comes down to, like you said, procrastination, because when you know that you've got deadlines, you just do it. So you're not overthinking it. So, and then I will always work out, last week was a really good example. I was really under the weather. So I just sat down and going, okay, well, what are the key things that you have to do today? Like, what are the must-have that you have to do? And I just did those because I needed to also allow my body to rest and, allow me to heal. Otherwise, I knew that I would have gotten even more sick or, and prolonged everything. So I think it's a lot of times taking stock of, what are the key importance of it. And then also to going, okay, well, and now I've also learned how to outsource, going, what can I let go of that, particular project or that aspect of it as well.
Yeah. Outsourcing, I think, is the key. And it doesn't mean that you're weak or, you're not successful. It means that you're strong and that you are heading towards success, because you recognize that you can't do it all yourself and that you need to call in for the troops. And that could be just a simple thing as getting someone in to wash your floors. It doesn't have to be a big thing, but or, do your housework for you, or do your gardening for you, or, get a VA to take care of your emails or your mail, your CRM, or whatever it is. Outsourcing, I outsource all the time. So most definitely. And then my productivity goes up because of that. And my stress and the pressure on me goes down. So it's a win-win situation, and it doesn't cost much to outsource. There's people out there screaming for work all around the world. So outsourcing, I like that tip. So what are you doing to practice self-care and personal wellness?
Oh, great question. Look, I would say I'm probably at 80% of the time I meditate. I, take that time out, and journal write for me is something that I love doing because it just gets me out of my head and, allows me to free write.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that, I go to the beach at least. It's my happy place. So I take my puppy to the beach at least once a week.
So where are you located, Christine?
So I'm in the country. So I'm probably about a 45, 50-minute drive to the beach.
Wow.
So I will get out, and on a Saturday, I will okay, whatever time she decides to get up, and, it's super cold at the moment. So, we'll drive down to the beach and, just spend a couple of hours there. And it's amazing at just how much that fills me up. And, I get super creative, and, I can sit down and I can write and, all of that. But it's what I love. So I now make time for doing the things that I love with it. And look, I'm in a very fortunate position, whereas my son's all grown up, I don't have young kids and, all that sort of stuff. But, now I make it a priority to go, well, you're working hard, you're doing a lot. So if this is what you'd love to do, just go ahead and do it.
And you've got a little dashhound?
I do have a little Dashie, yes.
Yes. We've both got little Dashies.
Yeah, she's my little baby. Snickers.
Snickers, that's right. Snickers and Pansy. Pansy's actually the star of my children's book that I've just written and illustrated, which is going to press today.
That's so exciting.
Very exciting. So yeah, she's in every illustration throughout that book. So you going to the beach is actually grounding. We call that grounding, getting back to nature, taking your shoes off, feeling the dirt, the sand, the grass in between your toes, and release. You will actually physically release the energy out of your body. So if you're quite stressed and it's all built up in you by just even standing outside in your yard, not on cement, but making sure, that it's grass or dirt. Definitely ground you. Our modern day shoes don't allow us to ground anymore, and that's because we have rubber-soled shoes, and previous generations had leather-soled shoes, and therefore you would still ground out with the leather sole on there, but that doesn't happen anymore. So we do need to make a conscious effort in grounding. It definitely helps. Not only physical, but, mentally as well. So what's your favourite movie that features a person's inner strength to get back up?
Oh, good question. Favourite movie? Look, it's really, really corny. It's Sweet Home Alabama. It's, and I literally just watched it the other night, and one of the things that I love about it is that, she's from a small town and she goes to the big city, but then she reconnects back to her, but can still follow her passion. So I don't know, there's just something about it, and, I'm a romantic at heart too, so, with it. But, it's just, that's the one that really sticks out. Probably because I just watched it the other night with it. But, she's following her passion. She's following what she loves.
Which streaming platform was that on, Christine?
I think it was on Disney.
Okay. I'll have to have a look for it. I watched it years ago, but I might have a refresher course. Great movie. So what's a quote that you live by?
Oh, it's my quote. it's dreams plus action equal reality, because, we need to dream big. We need to give ourselves permission to dream. But to become, and especially this comes with like the law of attraction, and, everyone thinks that, oh, you just visualize and it's going to happen. But the key part is the action. For you to make anything become a reality, you've got to do the work. And, a lot of it is the inner talk that we've got to, do ourselves. It's, how we're presenting ourselves. And, I live and breathe by that, because when everything was crushing down with me, I literally had to say, I give myself permission to dream, because I didn't think that I was able to anymore, or that I wasn't worthy enough. So it's the dreams plus action equal reality.
That's a great quote. Love it. What job position have you loved the best, and why?
Oh, what I'm in now.
Why? I know the answers to this, but let's hear it for the listeners.
Look, I just get to be me. Like, it's the most freeing thing to no longer have to put on. I used to say, I had so many, masks and labels on myself, and I took all of that off when I left corporate, and, just to now be me. I get to show up as myself. I get to work in jeans, or, I get to do what I love, and I get to choose the people I work with. I, get to create the most amazing things. I, talk to the most inspirational people. Like, I literally pinch myself every day going, is this really my life? And it's amazing. I could never have dreamed about it, 5 years ago.
Yeah, I totally get that. I thought I was in my dream job before I was diagnosed. With the MS, and I wasn't anywhere near it.
Yeah.
I am now, most definitely. And, people say, oh, you work too hard, but I don't see what I do as work. No. That's the thing. And, when you're loving what you're doing and you're passionate about what you're doing, it no longer feels like work.
No.
And, if you're in a job, if you're listening out there now and you're in a job and you hate it, why are you still there?
Yeah.
Upskill. It's not too late to change careers. It's not too late to do something different and something that you've always wanted to do. Take that step forward and just do it. Don't get to the end of your life and go, I wish I'd tried. Or I wish I'd done this. I wish I'd done that. Just do it is, the Nike saying.
Yep.
So you've obviously faced a time, and you brushed on this, when you've been in survival mode. Yeah. So on your parents' couch, how did you cope with that?
I learned the art of gratitude, and that was my coping mechanism, because all the stories I was reading about, and, I always thought I was grateful for things, but when you're at your lowest, if you can then think of 3 things that you're grateful for, that's when gratitude really steps in. So, I was grateful that I actually had a place to sleep. I was grateful that I wasn't sleeping in my car. I was grateful that the fact that, I was surrounded by my family, I had a roof, like I could have a hot shower, hot meals. Like that, to be able to sink into gratitude, especially at your lowest moment, I think that's the best coping mechanism and the best thing that you can do for yourself as well, because you can't attract more in your life when you're not appreciative of what you currently have already.
That's exactly right. Yeah, most definitely. What guides you to find purpose in your life and direction?
Ooh. Look, I really listen to my heart, my soul, and my intuition, and I feel like I'm just everyday guided of what I'm here for. I really feel like I'm here on a big mission. I'm here to, help share stories, to show people the power of stories, and, let them know what is possible. And I just constantly listen in now. I've had the Mack truck hit me, and make me fall flat for me to actually listen. So now I still have moments, where I'm like going, oh yeah, no way. But, now I do feel like I am allowing myself to be guided.
Yeah.
And it's a really empowering position to be in, where you literally wake up today and you're like, going, okay, well, what am I going to be doing today? What am I here for? What is the message that I need to, deliver, or, and just trust my intuition more. It's really empowering. Like obviously there's still work that I still do every, day, and, running the business, what it's like. But, I will listen and now sort of check in and to make sure that I'm in alignment, to make sure that, I'm fully present too. I think, being present every single day, it's not something a lot of people understand, but they go, oh yeah, I was present. I'm like going, no, really be in that moment and feel it and embrace it, like the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between. Because when we can do that, that's when we can really appreciate everything, and then we can learn to move forward.
Yeah, I think society as a whole has lost the whole thing about being present. You go to a concert or something, epic, and everyone's got their phones out and they're more worried about filming it. Why? Why is it? I'm a culprit of this. I've done it in the past. Do I ever sit there and listen to those videos? No, because the sound quality is terrible. So now it's about being in the present. I've just been up to Cairns and to the Great Barrier Reef, and there's hardly any photos and live streams and that, because I was in the moment, I was in the present, and I remember it far more than going and just videoing everything and filling up my phone full of videos that I'll never watch, maybe once, ever again. So tell me about the 3 most influential people in your life, Christine, and how have they impacted you?
Oh, good question. The first one would be, I remember when I first started, I was going to do the magazine, and this lady goes, oh yeah, how much for the front cover? And I'm like, what? Like, you want to pay to, so it was all those people and everyone coming forward after that to actually realize, that you have something, and that really keeps me going as well. I love Oprah. I literally think that she is somebody who I really do admire. People ask me, oh, do you want to be like Oprah? I'm like, oh, no, I don't, because I want to just be myself. But I look at all the things that she's overcome, but also what she gives back. And, we were always told in society that, the rich are evil and, all this sort of stuff. But
money is evil.
Yeah, but if you look at somebody like her and how much she gives back and, what she does, for society and that as well. So I see that as, somebody who is breaking the mold and, just being who she is. And then I guess I look at also my son, because, I was a young mum and, we're sort of growing up together, and now seeing him as a dad too. And, you just sort of like going, oh, wow, like, the little things that he says or the things that he's doing now to be a great dad. So I really actually look at him and go, wow, like, this is impressive, like, to, somebody who is, got his career and his little family. And, I really do admire, even just like the everyday challenges that were different from me, having a child, to what they're going through now.
Fantastic people to have influenced you, Christine. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self, what's one piece of advice you would give to yourself? What would it be?
Love yourself more.
Yeah.
Just love on yourself more, because you love everybody else, but you need to learn to love yourself.
Yeah, we're so critical of ourselves, aren't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
We sure are, especially as women. I don't think men are quite so hard on themselves as well, the pressure that we put on ourselves. And,
Yeah.
yeah, I would probably say the same thing. Be kinder to myself.
Mm.
Yeah. What are 3 books you'd recommend to my audience and why?
Ooh. The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. It really was my first sort of introduction into spirituality and, learning about putting things out there and learning from it. One that has taken me a long time to read is The Power of Now. And that's all about being in the present moment. And there's some really hard lessons to sort of learn in that. So every couple of months I'll read a couple of pages and try and digest it and, go through it with it. And the third book I would say is the Marie Forleo Everything Gets Figureoutable, because she literally just said yes to so many different things. And it was probably the one book where I literally just digested like from front to back. And then of course I should have said my own book, but anyway, that's okay.
You can give your own book a publish.
No. Like I look, for me, it's like I feel that this is why I do what I do. Like, stories are just so powerful. Like, you get it. Like it's just amazing. And I have like all these books like around me, and I'll go back and reread something, and then you'll go, oh, that's right. Like, you get it again, or you read it in a different light because you've learned something new.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. So do you read them or do you listen to Audible?
I read. I am such a tactile person. Like, I love the book. There's a scene in Sex and the City and Carrie Bradshaw, and she sniffs the books after she gets it, and I'm like, that is so me. Like, I love the touch and feel of a book.
Especially when you get your own book. Like,
yes.
The first thing to do is oh my God.
Yeah. It's surreal.
So I do listen to Audible quite a lot, and I'm naughty. I put it at 1.5, 1.75 speed if they're a very slow talker.
Yeah.
But I'll do that instead of listening to music when I'm painting or creating something. I'll be listening to Audible at the same time. Unfortunately, my vision's not very good nowadays with the MS, and for me to read a book takes a lot of concentration, and it's no good for me.
Building resilience is a key life skill, a skill everyone needs to work at consistently. Life can throw us curveballs, from sickness to job loss, death and no purpose, but it's our inner strength to get back up, navigate the journey of change, and build ourselves back up. If you'd like a free 30-minute one-on-one conversation with resilience coach Justine Martin, email yes please to hello@justinemartin.com.au.
What's 3 movies you'd recommend to my audience and why?
Ooh. I would say you need to watch The Secret. So it's not like it's sort of like a documentary, and it really showed me the power of law of attraction.
And I know that one's on Netflix.
Yeah, there's that one. I love these documentaries. So the other one would be I'm Not Your Guru, which is the Tony Robbins one. Because there's just some really clear things in there that he says, and even though he's at his pinnacle in his career, like, he's literally saying, hey, I'm not a guru, like, I'm just sharing what I've learned. And I think that that's so important, because everyone puts these celebrities now on such a huge pedestal, but the fact is that they're just normal human beings that have just actually learned and now spreading their message with it. And the third one, good question. Look, it's totally left field, but when I have my pity parties, I put on a sort of shoot 'em up movie, which is John Wick. Sorry, it's just so bizarre, but it just like takes my mind off everything, and just
movies.
Yeah, so If I need the inspiration, that's the two that I'll go to. But if I'm having my pity party, well, then I'll watch John Wick. So.
Goddamn thing just froze again, but we're going to keep going and I'm going to edit it out. Okay. My go-to movie is Top Gun. I think I've seen it about 200 times, and now my next go-to one is Maverick. I've already been at the theatre a couple of times and seen it because they're movies that I can totally switch off on.
Yes.
They have my attention the whole time.
Yeah.
So I may know the words now on Top Gun after 36 years, whatever.
I love it.
Okay, so what's one question you'd wished I'd asked you, and how would you have answered it?
Oh.
We have some pretty good questions this year.
You do, and that has got me stumped, and I don't get stumped very often.
Well, that means I've done my job well.
Yeah, you have. Maybe what's next? I don't.
Okay, what's next?
What's next? 2 books are coming out, which I've got to get writing on. And yeah, I just yeah. And then I guess the next big thing is, like, for me, I want to do more speaking. I really want to be able to share the message more, and just. Like, as I said, I'm a lover of stories. Like, I just want people to know what is possible. And if my story can just help one person, then I love it. I love it. And I think, we're so consumed by numbers and, how many likes and followers and all that sort of stuff. But I have people literally come out to me and they're like, I've been following you for years, but they've never commented. They don't even like my page. Like, they just, so you don't know who you're impacting. And I think that's the beautiful thing.
Yeah. And I get inboxes all the time because I'm quite vocal in my health journey, and especially when I had the melanoma, and, encouraging people to go and have skin checks. So if you're listening now, go and have your skin check done. Make sure it's your 12-month skin check. And, I had inboxes of people saying, thank you, you saved my life by having the skin check, and I wouldn't have done it unless you'd prompt me to do it. And, I always say that my story is someone else's survival guide.
Yes.
Learn from the mistakes that I've made, and, if I inspire you just to go and do something better in your life, well, then it's been worth telling that story.
Yeah.
Okay, so some fun questions now to finish up on. If you won $10 million tomorrow, Christine, what would you spend it on?
I think we're back.
Bloody thing. I'm just marking it. Okay, here we go. If you won $10 million tomorrow, Christine, what would you spend it on?
Oh, I'd buy a house for myself, a house for my son, and I really would love to be able to set up a way where there's like a mentoring service for people that, already have a business, and then they can mentor other people.
Awesome. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
By the beach.
Yeah. Any particular beach?
Look, there's a place, it's Paradise Point, down the Gold Coast, and
Yep.
Yeah, I love it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've actually been there.
Yeah.
Very nice. What was your favourite subject in school?
Drama.
Was it?
Yeah.
What was your least favourite subject in school?
Math.
Mine was English. Yeah, hated English, which is quite ironic now considering I'm an author.
Yeah.
But it was never like that at school. Okay, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes.
Awesome. Knew we were friends. Tea, coffee, wine, hot chocolate, or beer, or cocktails?
Coffee in the morning.
How do you
chocolate
have your
all
coffee?
day, and then wine at night.
How do you have your coffee?
Look, I am a caramel latte girl with almond milk. So
Of course you are. I'm actually allergic to caffeine, so I'll have to take your word on that one. I'm a macadamia nut girl with Caro. Don't knock it till you've tried it, or when you can't drink anything else. Red or white wine?
Red.
Nice. See, that's 2 ticks. Should the toilet paper go forwards or backwards?
Oh, it's got to go over.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. It does.
Yeah.
All those out there that are all the under ones are,
Yeah.
Scruncher or folder?
A bit of both.
You're going to get off this going, what was she thinking?
I love it.
So where can my listeners find you online, Christine?
So we're on Facebook and Instagram at The Corporate Escapists, and over at our website, which is www.thecorporateescapists.com.
And I'm just going to show you this. Listeners, you won't be able to see it, but if you go on to Justine Martin Corporation on YouTube, you'll be able to see the vlog on there. And this is the latest edition that Christine's brought out. It's your 2-year second birthday edition. And if you flip through the pages, you might find yours truly in there as well. So great magazine, and it's available online as well as paperback. So we'll put all your details into the bio.
Thank you.
Christine, thank you for today. We've had a few technical hiccups along the way with microphones breaking and me having a cold and going into a coughing fit in the middle of it. But he's hoping it all pulls together at the end.
All good.
We don't give up, we modify, and that's all about resilience.
That's it. The show's got to go on, so hey.
That's all right. I'm going to have some creative editing to do on this one, I can see. So thank you very much for your time today. It's been
beautiful.
A blast having you on.
Oh, thank you so much. I think you're just truly amazing, and I'm pretty sure that we're going to do something epic together. I just feel it. So
I do too. I do too. Yeah. So remember, listeners, until next time, stay resilient.
We hope you enjoyed the Resilience Mindset podcast. Remember to subscribe to the podcast to get your weekly fix listening to Resilience Queen Justine Martin. Follow Justine on social media at Resilience Mindset or log on to justinemartin.com.au. And until next time, remember, life doesn't get easier or more forgiving. We get stronger and more resilient.